Guys, Will here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new 2024 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid N-Line.
And a big thanks to Brandon Hyundai for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the Tucson has been Hyundai's compact crossover SUV since 2005. The fourth generation Tucson that you see here was released in 2022. And for 2024, the Tucson sees some changes, featuring more side airbags, haptic feedback for the lane keep assist system, dual zone automatic climate control from the SEL and up, a 10.25-inch touchscreen for the SEL convenience and up, XRT gets a black headliner, and the N-Line that you see here is now only available as a hybrid, which previously was only available for the non-hybrid. The 2024 Tucson Hybrid gets 6 trims available from the $32,000 Blue all the way up to the $45,000 Limited. Here we have the N-Line sitting right in the middle of the pack with a $36,000 base price. What else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So up front, you notice your LED daytime running lights. You get N-Line badge within the running light with full LED headlamps right in the corner. They are LEDs for the high and low beam, of course, on both sides of this front end. We get a smoked Hyundai badge for the N-Line trim, panel housing your advanced safety features in the corner. No front parking sensing, gotta go to the top trims to get that. Of course, no front facing camera either. No cameras for the blind spots, but for a $36,000 base price, this is a very well loaded new SUV. We get the radiator behind on the left side of this reflective grille, intercooler on the right side for this 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, which is now exclusive for the N-Line trim. The wheel and tire setup, we get this more aggressive 19-inch rim design wrapped in 235/55 R19 Michelin Primacy all-season tires. Dimensions again being 235/50 R19s. So the 55 series sidewall should keep the ride quality super plush. The new Santa Cruz gets 60 series sidewall tires, so I wouldn't expect it to be nearly as plush. But with these Michelin Primacy tires versus the Santa Cruz's Kumho Cruisin tires, we should get way less road noise. Anyway though, the 235 wide tires should be more than enough to put the power to the ground, especially with this all-wheel drive system standard for the hybrid. You get another N-Line badge, a couple fender flares up front and out rear. This is a super bold design. Really reminds me of something that you would get from, say, Alfa Romeo. I like the black mirror caps, LED turn signals on the mirrors, blind spot monitoring on the glass. We get all black trim for the window trim, blacked out B and C pillar. We get black roof rails, a massive panoramic moonroof, black shark fin style antenna. I kind of wish we had black door handles, but really a nitpicky complaint. We get a little bit of black trim for the rocker panel side skirt area. Hopefully you guys can pick up this flare that we get in the rear fender. Really bold, especially with this white metallic paint color. The rear wheel and tire setup, same exact things up front. The only difference is a smaller brake caliper. We get a push to open gas cap, no easy fill, but you can throw, I think, 87 octane fuel, but with the turbocharged power plant, I think I'd still probably lean towards premium. But again, listen to the owner's manual before you listen to me. That's just what I would personally prefer to do. We get full LED taillights. You can love them or hate them, but I personally think they look really modern and futuristic. Reverse lights in the corner. We get rear parking sensing, reflective Tucson badge. Shout out Brandon Hyundai in Tampa, Florida for helping make this review possible. Hyundai badge where the wiper is on most vehicles. Here for the Tucson, the wiper is hidden underneath the third brake light. The third brake light, of course, is also LED. We get dual exhaust tips in the corner. I kind of wish they were single tips on both sides, but I still appreciate the dual tips. And speaking of the dual tips, let's fire up this 1.6 liter hybrid, see if we can rev it up and hear how she sounds. Alright guys, that was the sound of the 1.6 liter turbocharged hybrid setup sold by Hyundai for the 2024 Tucson N-Line. And it definitely doesn't sound very conventional, but you can still rev it up, unlike most hybrid vehicles. Cranking out a pretty beefy 226 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. You can expect this hybrid compact SUV weighing in around 3,900 pounds to get to 60 in around 7 seconds. So definitely a respectable time, about a second and a half quicker compared to the non-hybrid. What you see is basically what we get. We can shut this hood right down. We don't get hydraulic struts, at least not for the N-Line trim. Maybe you get it for the Limited, but really not a big deal. If you didn't mention, we get some functional airflow in the corner, so hopefully you can pick it up on camera. Anyway, let's take a step inside. Well, before we take a step inside, let's check out this window sticker on this 2024 Tucson Hybrid N-Line all-wheel drive. You can pause, take a look at all the standard features, options. $36,405 for the base price, $450 for the Serenity White Pearl paint, $210 for the floor mats, $350 for the cross rails, $120 for the cargo tray, $30 for the first aid kit, and $70 for the wheel locks. $1,335 for the destination, totals us out a tick under 39,000 bucks. Fuel economy is excellent. That's pretty much the only reason you would go for the hybrid outside of the slightly better performance. 37 combined, 37 city, 36 on the highway. Anyway though, taking a step inside, again, we get smart access for the driver and the front passenger. Taking a step inside, up top we get soft touch material. Reminds me a little bit of a Santa Cruz, to be expected. The Santa Cruz is essentially a Tucson up front. We get some soft trim in the center, soft touch even around the door handle, which is aluminum. We get some piano black around the window controls, auto one touch up front, four-way adjustable mirrors, power windows out rear. Solid amount of storage. We get gushy soft leather armrests with red contrast stitching and a massive amount of storage down below. You'll stack 2 footlongs on top of each other, 2 speakers on the door panel, aluminum Tucson nameplate as we take a step inside. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera. The seats, they have some leatherette outlines with some cloth inserts. They are very comfortable, very premium looking and feeling seats. They say N underneath the headrest. The headrest is leatherette wrapped. Before we take a step inside, we get 2-way lumbar. You can recline, drop, lift, and slide the front seats. Taking a step inside, we can really check it out. So foot on the brake, engine start, stop, and everything fires right to life. But first thing we noticed is the steering wheel. Just like the rest of Hyundai's lineup, the steering wheels have been absolutely excellent, super thick, nice red contrast stitching. 10 and 2 is very impressively popping out. We have a 9 and 3 that fits perfect in our hands. The Hyundai horn area is well grained, rubberized, loud and aggressive horn too. We'll do a window check, see if we get dual panes. No dual panes, but still a very quiet, isolated interior. We have voice commands, AM, FM, Sirius, volume and skip controls. You can hang up and answer your phone calls and favorites. On the right side, you adjust the infotainment, radar cruise control, and active steering. Speaking of infotainment adjustments, right now we're looking at a digital speedo. You can also see drive info, since refueling, and accumulated info, the energy flow, and right back to where we started. You also get a compass, information, power distribution, tire pressure monitoring, and the engine temperature, as well as advanced safety features screen at all times with the attention level. My personal favorite would be to look at the digital speedo. On the left side, we have a speedometer that goes to 160, fuel level beneath that. On the right side, we have our power indicator with the battery voltage beneath that, average fuel economy in the center. Continuing along, we get paddle shifters too for the 6-speed automatic transmission, auto headlamps, auto high beams, and the stocks have a really satisfying click. We don't get any auto rain sensing wipers, but not a big deal. The intermittent stock's right there in the center. Tilt and telescoping steering wheel, interior brightness, trunk release, turn off the traction control, and the battery reset. Hopefully you get a good look at the pedals too. Massive dead pedal, and that's about it. The dashboard is all padded material. We get a 10.25-inch touchscreen. Speaking of touchscreen, you can see the hybrid information, fuel economy, electric motor use, energy flow, and all of that map. We can take a quick look, hide the second screen. Well, before we do that, we can see our Sirius XM, weather, calendar, compass. You get 3 different compass views with latitude, longitude, and the elevation right down below. Cool. Clock too, and the fuel economy with the electric motor use, and you can see the map too if you want to for one reason or another. I'd rather just see the whole map. The response for the map is good, not excellent, but it's good. Like 8 out of 10 for the response, 9 out of 10 for the resolution. And speaking of resolution, we can check out the backup camera. Really high resolution, guidance lines and trajectory, no 360, you gotta go to limited to get the 360. You can see the different views. You can also see an over the top, kind of like trailer hitch view, so you can maximize the distance between you and the car behind you. My personal favorite would be to look at this classic view, throwing right back into park. Well, before we do that, the vehicle is actually beeping right now, just like a school bus or a big giant truck, ambulance, whatnot. It's beeping because it's an EV. It's not making any noise. So the only way to really alert the people behind you that you're backing up is with that little subtle beep. Throwing right back into park, we immediately return right back to the map. Beneath that, we have shortcuts for the touchscreen, but they're touch-sensitive shortcuts. Unlike the lower trims before, they would have hard buttons. Not the case anymore. The climate control buttons are also touch-sensitive. Everything is touch-sensitive for this infotainment system, but we still get dual-zone automatic climate. 2 USB A ports, 12-volt in the center, wireless charging pad, and solid amount of storage. We get heated front seats, hill descent control, and you can access the camera at all times. Center differential lock, drive mode selector. We get snow, smart, sport, and eco mode. We'll start the review off in eco, transition into sport, and just see what the differences are. It says N in this little center stack area, electronic parking brake with auto hold. Pretty large cup holders. You'll fit 24 to 30 ounce bottles, but probably nothing a whole lot bigger than that. We have hazards right in the center. Nice soft armrest. It's not the softest, but it's a nice comfortable area to rest your arm with some red contrast stitching. The space is really impressive. You'll fit 4 to 5 1-liter bottles of soda in here. Very spacious. center console. The glove box, it is damp, not lined with felt, but it is pretty large. You'll fit about 20 to 25 license plates. You'll fit a pair of shoes in here also with no problem. Above that, we have some soft touch materials for the front of the dashboard. Of course, soft touch for the top part too. A little bit of cloth with red contrast stitching and nice aluminum smoke trim for the air vents that run all throughout this interior. The rear view mirror is essentially frameless and auto dimming. The interior lights are LED, and we get this massive panoramic moonroof, and the shade slides open super quick. The glass also looks like it slides open pretty quick. We'll see how far it goes. Pretty far. See if it goes any further. It does not, but decent sized opening. Goes all the way to the end of the front row. We'll pull our way out of here. Beautiful day in Brandon, Florida. Sunny and 91 degrees according to this Tucson hybrid. We'll shut this glass right up. The shade follows it, but we'll keep the shade open so when we hop out back, you guys can see how much light is brought into the cabin. But that's about it for the front seat of this 2024 Hyundai Tucson N-Line. It is a really nice vehicle for the money. With a sub $37,000 base price, we really do get a lot for the money. If I didn't mention, the speakers here are Bose on the N-Line trim. For mid-trim, that is also top-notch impressive. As far as the space and the quality of the back seat materials, let's check it out. So hard plastic up top, to be expected, but we get some soft material in the center, aluminum door handle, power window, nice soft armrest, and you'll fit probably a 24 to 30 ounce bottle in that cup holder down below. Additional Tucson nameplate as we step inside. The rear seats are the same material as up front. We get that leatherette with cloth inserts, and it's really soft and comfortable. Legroom, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall sitting behind my seat settings, and I still have about 5-6 inches of knee room. This is more spacious than a Santa Cruz. I have about an inch of additional headroom, so if you're under 6'4", 6'5", you'll sit in the back of the Tucson with no problem. Also, unlike the Santa Cruz, we get air vents back here attached to the center console, 2 USB-A ports, cargo nets behind both of the front seats. The center cubby gets a string, and it's decently soft, nice area to rest your arm. You'll fit 2 24-ounce bottles with no problem. The interior lights are right underneath these grab handles. They're LED and very bright. We get a hook on the driver's side, no hook on the passenger side, but we get an additional LED light nevertheless. That's about it though, guys, for the back seat. The materials are pretty good. The space is really good. You'll fit 5 full-size adults in this compact SUV with no problem. And speaking of space, let's check out the cargo space real quick and then take this 2024 Tucson N-Line out for a drive. So press the button underneath and we can access our power opening liftgate. And it opens up pretty quickly. For the Bose premium sound system, we get the subwoofer in the corner. We get the box and the floor mats taking up a little bit of space, but hopefully you guys can still pick up the overall floor. This is really large for a compact SUV. Competitive with some of the midsize segment like a Murano, Ford Edge. This isn't a whole lot smaller than a vehicle like that. The step-in, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall. I'm about 4 inches away from the step-in, so it's not too high. The older or smaller pets shouldn't have the toughest time hopping into the back of this compact SUV. Secret storage, we get quite a bit. We'll see if there's a spare underneath. There is not, but for a hybrid wouldn't really be expected. It's still nice to get a decent amount of secret storage here for this Tucson hybrid. You can fold the rear seats down 60-40 split. The wheel wells protrude a little bit, so I wouldn't expect you to fit more than say a 60-65 inch TV back here. But for a compact SUV, that is still impressive. You press this button, drop the liftgate, and it gives you about 2 seconds to get out of the way, so you don't have to worry about getting duped in the head if you're carrying a whole lot of groceries. But that's about it for the inside and outside of this 2024 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid N-Line. It is a beautiful SUV. The looks are top-notch. I don't know a whole lot of SUVs in my opinion that look better, at least for the side profile and rear end. The front end, I mean, you can love it or hate it, but for the most part, this is a beautiful SUV. And performance-wise, let's take this 2024 Hyundai Tucson N-Line out for a drive and see what it's got. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new 2024 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid N-Line. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. My first impressions, though, really comfortable cabin. The seats are comfortable. The steering feels like it's just built for my hands. The throttle is responsive, especially with this hybrid system, giving us that instant torque. Brake pedal feels good. Turn signal stock. Very premium overall feel. We'll see how this thing feels over the speed bumps. Test out the ride quality with these beefy 55 series sidewalls. Should be good. Won't even slow down. Boom. You definitely hear it a little bit, but the way that this vehicle rides over the bumps is really impressive. I've been noticing that with a lot of Hyundai vehicles. Yes, you do hear it a little bit more than you say like a Mercedes or BMW, but you don't really feel it a whole lot more than those companies. The ride quality is really, really good. They could work a little bit on the isolation from a sound perspective, but for a sub $40,000 premium, decent performing SUV, I mean, like, what do we really expect? We'll try out an acceleration from a low speed right here, normal mode on the gas. Good response. Boost. Woo. I mean, yeah, it definitely picks up speed well. It doesn't feel nearly as quick as like a Santa Cruz Turbo, but it feels just as quick, if not quicker, compared to the Kona N-Line we just reviewed in this channel with the 1.6 liter turbo. No hybrid system, but it also weighed a little bit less too. This feels just as quick, if not quicker. Yeah. And the handling, as you just saw, also really good. We do get a higher rollover risk here, but the nimble feel that this SUV has, outside of, like, God forbid, serious emergencies, I don't think there's a serious risk of, say, flipping this thing over. Of course, God forbid. Anyway, though, we'll try it out in sport real quick. Acceleration off the line, no brake torque, just off the line on the gas. Good response. Woo! Wow, there it is, the boost. Yeah, this thing can take off. Brakes feel good. Make sure nobody's coming. They are not throwing it in. Woo! Good handling on the gas. Yeah, the torque is so good. Once you're already moving, that's when this car feels even quicker, because there's a little bit of lag. You do make up for some of the lag with the electric boost in the beginning, but not all of it. The meat of this power plant is still about a second and a half at about like 3,000, 3,500 RPM. And for a hybrid system, I kind of wish you had a little bit more electric power. Like, yes, this is strong, but right now, that's when you feel the ultimate power. And I wish that you felt a consistent surge from the moment you step in the gas, like you do with hybrids that have simply just stronger battery packs. But again, for the price point, that's like one of the most nitpicky complaints I can possibly imagine. Steering feels better in sport. Isolation from the bumps is solid. The ride quality is not better than the Santa Cruz. The Santa Cruz feels better in terms of ride quality, but really not by much. This still feels really good. We got some massive bumps coming up. Boom. Boom. Yeah, the ride quality, it's right up there with the Santa Cruz. I wouldn't call it a whole lot worse, but it is a little bit bumpier. Like, very marginal, but it is a little bit noticeable. One more time, off the line, on the gas. Good torque. Boom. There it is. So yeah, the hybrid definitely offsets some of the turbo lag. It definitely feels like there's way less lag than, say, a Kona N-Line, an Elantra N-Line, anything N-Line that only has the 1.6. This definitely feels like it has less lag, but it doesn't have as little lag as I would hope for. I kind of wish the electric motor offset it a little bit more. One more time, we'll throw it in faster than we should though. Test out the handling. It is sharp on the gas. It is fun. I know in previous models for the Tucson, the N-Line wasn't really much of a performance car. They gave you nicer looking wheels, nicer looking trim, blacked out stuff here and there. But as far as a performance car, it wasn't anything more special than a regular Tucson. That's just no longer the case. Yes, it's a hybrid. It's not as cool as like a big engine performance upgrade, big turbo performance upgrade. No, it's not that. It's a regular turbocharged engine with a battery pack totaling us out at 226 horsepower and a very healthy 258 pound-feet of torque. We'll open her up a little bit more as soon as we get the chance. Looks like we have the chance as soon as this Accord drives by. Ready and on the gas. Woo! Good power. Catching up with traffic pretty quickly, and we're gonna overtake them pretty quickly as well. Overall, guys, this is an impressive vehicle. We'll try out these paddles real quick. Fourth gear, good response. Woo. Quick shifts, not bad. Throwing it into the top gear, sixth gear, on the highway, moving highway speeds. You do hear a tiny bit of wind noise. Road noise is non-existent. These Michelin tires address every complaint that I had with the Santa Cruz that we just reviewed in this channel. It wasn't very loud, but you did hear a little bit of road noise. You hear the bumps a little bit when you hit them. For the most part, it is quiet, and these Michelin tires make things even quieter. Overall, guys, if you're looking for a premium performance, we'll call it a performance SUV that gets really good gas mileage, I would really recommend checking out the 2024 Tucson N-Line. It feels premium. This really feels like something you get from a German company, Alfa Romeo. I know they're not German, but it feels a little bit like a Stelvio. It looks a little bit like a Stelvio. And overall, it just feels like a very premium vehicle. And the 0 to 60 around 7 seconds, maybe a little bit quicker if you get a great launch. You
can kind of call it a performance vehicle, especially for the sub $40,000 price point. If that's what you're looking for, guys, this is a great option. You can fit 5 people in this thing comfortably. You fold those rear seats down, you got a ton of cargo space, top-notch tech, Bose premium audio system for a $36,000 base price, auto-dimming rear view mirror, beautiful rims, beautiful styling. Overall, guys, if you're looking for an entry-level performance premium SUV, you like to get a little bit closer to like 30 to 35 mpgs, this thing averages 36, 37 mpgs. If that's what you're looking for, guys, I would definitely recommend checking out the 2024 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid and Line. And a big thanks to Jonathan at Brandon Hyundai in Tampa, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Jonathan. And huge thanks to all of you for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out, the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment, let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment, let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you'd like to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.